So what is the number one way to release resistance? You may have heard that releasing resistance is the most important part of manifesting anything. Because if you are feeling resistance, that means you can't fully experience what you want, and it will never arrive to you. So what is the best way to release resistance? The secret I'm about to share with you is probably not something that you would have ever guessed, because it almost sounds like the opposite of trying to manifest your desire. But I guarantee you this will actually work if you dare to try this. I know a lot of you will probably be hesitant to actually do what I'm about to say. But if you actually try this out, you may find that you break through on something that you have been waiting a really long time to manifest. And I want to say that this is something that has personally worked for me. In fact, it's worked for me in things that I have to manifest on a deadline, like things I was in dire need of, and they came through. So I know that this technique can work for you too. So I am Veronica, and I am so happy to be with you today. I am filming in Las Vegas, Nevada. The coyotes were out earlier, and I am having an amazing time. So let's talk a little bit more about resistance. Resistance is that feeling of not being able to have something. It's that struggle feeling that you feel inside whenever you try to connect with a particular desire. And it's also that thing that makes you feel like you have a block. Like there's something standing between you and your desire in terms of manifesting. And you could refer to this as using the law of attraction, the law of assumption, creative thought, new thought, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. But in all of this, resistance is something that we want to try to free ourselves from. We don't have to be completely free from resistance, but we do have to try to release it as best we can. And thus, that's when we break through. That's when we manifest. Okay. So enough of this chatter. I know you want to get to the secret. The best way to manifest is to actually, get ready, to have a backup plan. Now, I know some of you may have just gasped because you probably were like, a backup plan? Why on earth would I want a backup plan? In fact, many of you have probably been restricting yourselves, saying, I have to have my desire. I only want my desire. I will not have a backup plan. Have a backup plan. The reason is this. It is not because you actually will manifest the backup plan, but in having this backup plan, you are going to suddenly feel safe in a way you don't feel safe right now. Feeling safe equals releasing resistance. It is probably the fastest way for you to get your actual specific desire, the quickest, most easiest, surefire way to release resistance. Because in that moment where you suddenly explore those ideas of this backup plan, this alternative, you will feel like, you know what? If I don't get my desire, I'll still have something pretty nice. I'll still have a good life. I'll still be okay. And in doing that, you are not switching course for your desire. You are not suddenly saying, I want this backup plan. But what you are saying is, I have everything. I am okay. I am abundant. I am not lacking anything, because you are feeling safe and secure within this backup plan. Now, this is a great technique to use if you have been trying to manifest a specific person. And again, I know plenty of you probably already turned off the video at this point because you were like, hell no, Veronica, I want my specific person. And I'm actually telling you exactly how to get your specific person right now. So if you're still watching, you know what's going on. You made the right choice. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to come up with an alternative towards being okay, being happy, living a good life, towards what you seek. Now, I did this actually when I was single. I had been single for a good portion of time. I'd had failed relationships before. I had pretty much given up on love at this point. I felt very hopeless in a lot of ways, as if being single was just going to last forever and I was going to be alone, and I would get panic attacks whenever this came up. But I had just given up on myself. I'd given up on my dreams in a lot of ways. But the way I released resistance, and at the time I didn't realize I was doing it, but the way I released resistance in this was I said to myself, well, if I am going to be single forever, I will lead a good life. I will devote my life to helping animals and helping good causes. I will try to be creative and take part in my hobbies and my interests, and life will still be okay. Now, it's interesting because I want to say maybe a month after I did this. It might have even been sooner than that. I don't actually remember exactly how long it was, but I actually met the person that I am in love with to this day. So it was interesting how when I had kind of surrendered to a backup plan instead of holding all of this resistance around needing something so badly that suddenly I broke through. Now, if you know anything about my story, I still had a lot to learn from this point on. But the point I'm trying to make is that when you develop a backup plan, an alternative to the very thing you want so badly, the thing that you are gripping upon so badly, it's interesting how the universe suddenly opens up a door that quickly. So, for example, if you are needing money right now for something that you're pretty much desperate for, maybe you can't make your mortgage. What I would suggest is I would make a backup plan by saying, you know what? If I can't make my mortgage, somehow I will end up living in a place that's comfortable, where I feel good, that I can afford. And again, this is not giving up on your need to make this money to live in maybe your dream home that you're currently living in. I know, you don't want the alternative, but when you allow yourself to feel safe from the backup plan, from the alternative, that's when the original desire just poof comes through. You could do the same thing with your body. Maybe you badly want to lose, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. You could say to yourself, well, I am going to make the most of how I look right now, and I'm going to feel confident in my skin. Yes, I would feel even better if I had, this perfect weight. So in releasing resistance towards needing a specific thing so badly, and in coming up with an alternative to something else that could make us happy, like with a specific person, you could say, well, I'm sure that there are other people that could actually make me happy. So if things don't end up working out with my specific person, I'm sure I will still be loved. I will still be happy. I will still lead a good life. Again, a lot of you probably cringed. Veronica is telling me to move on. I'm not. I'm giving you a secret hack that all of us really experienced manifestors know to be true. That the second we release resistance, and this is a shortcut to releasing resistance. There are plenty of other ways to release resistance too, but this is the one that has always just allowed me to break through really fast. Because if you let yourself feel settled and safe, that things are going to be okay, you will find that that original desire just comes to you like a magnet. So it is sort of the opposite of holding on so tightly. Once you develop that backup plan, you're like, well, if I don't get this job, there will be another one that's waiting for me. Or if my best friend never speaks to me again, I'll meet other friends. Whatever your obstacle may be, whatever you are stuck with, if you develop an alternative and you feel safe, that's the key point. Feeling safe within the ability of still being okay and having a good life and having a life full of meaning and happiness. Happiness. Not just developing a backup plan just for, kicks, but developing a backup plan because you actually could be okay. You wouldn't be nearly as happy as you would be with your specific desire, but you would still be okay. You'd be safe. You'd be fine. You'd be comfortable. You feel that relief? I guarantee you, like the next day, something amazing happens with the specific thing that you really, really want. Okay, so I hope this manifesting tip could help. It's helped me so much over the years. It's helped me when I wasn't able to make my rent. It's helped me when I've been super scared about not getting a particular outcome. It's helped me in terms of my health, my well-being, those manifestations where you feel like you have to have something. Develop just a backup plan. Do the best you can, even for a second, and you will create that safety feeling, and suddenly something brilliant will happen, a miracle. Okay, I'm Veronica. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. Find my self-study programs at dreamlifebyveronica.com. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Leave me a comment below. Talk to me. Communicate with one another. Let me know if this video helped. Have an amazing day, and may all of your dreams come true. I'm happy to personally help you. Have a beautiful and amazing day, and I'm thrilled that I could be a part of your manifesting journey.